Hello everyone and welcome to the detailed Essatto product tour. What is Essatto? Essatto is an end-to-end data management solution with 6 integrated functions that allow you to combine data from multiple sources, produce dashboards and reports, produce collaborative and comprehensive multi-user budgets. It makes multi-company consolidations and managing hierarchical reporting easy, and stores all your key information for data analysis securely and centrally in a scalable data warehouse included as part of the solution. Can you currently analyze all your business data, including the data that is not stored in your key operational data sources? Essatto enables you to import data from multiple operational systems. It also enables you to blend your in-house operational data sources with cloud sources like Google Analytics or Mongo, as well as data from Essatto's budget and forecast modules. The data is all stored centrally in a secure and scalable data warehouse that is included as part of the Essatto solution. Essatto is an end-to-end data management solution designed to produce dashboards from multiple sources quickly and easily. Here's a sample that shows analysis that blends multiple data sources. For example, the quote analysis blends accounting data with key metrics captured via the Essatto Excel add-in. Lead conversion compares website hits from Google Analytics versus the number of people visiting our stores. The margin variance and margin summary blend accounting and sales data with budgets produced using Essatto's fast budgets. Why? Because empowering users to analyze all of their business data will get them thinking about their business in new ways, which leads to better business decisions. Do your users frequently need customizations or assistance to get the reports or dashboards they need for data analysis? What if they could do most of their data analysis by themselves? How would it change their ability to improve business decision making? Let's take a look at an Essatto report and dashboard. In this demo, we'll have a look at an accounting dashboard, a sales dashboard, and how to create a report and dashboard. This is Essatto's browser interface. We're looking at the visualization section of Essatto, and we have the accounting dashboard tab open. The dashboard's made up of several different visualizations, including a profit and loss trend, net sales variance, and top product and customer information. Many charts in Essatto are interactive, so I can click on income, click on cost of goods sold, and click on gross profit to get a view of net profit versus expenses. The chart is also filterable by multiple companies, analytic account, and time periods. We're looking at the overview tab, but many different tabs have been included, including an executive tab that provides budget versus actual variance reporting. So in this example, I'm looking at a sales variance, my actual results, my plan results, and my results from last year. There are other tabs included, like this profit and loss tab as well. The sales dashboard in this example includes the ability to view sales by dollars, cost of goods, margin, quantity, or price. I can also drill this particular chart by product, by salesperson or customer for my actuals versus my prior and my planned results. You drill by simply clicking on the chart. I'll drill into food, drill into seasonings, and I can see for this particular product line, my actual results are much lower than my results from last year and what we plan to do this year. While I've been drilling, this table has been interactively drilling at the same time, but in addition it provides year-to-date information and associated variances. If you don't want to drill down to find your variances, Essatto also allows you to use exception reporting. So in this example, the exception report will return where I've got particular tolerances that have been exceeded. So I can see my top 20 clients, the products they've not purchased in the last 3 months, but did purchase previously. So for this customer, I can see that this product line has earned us this amount of revenue in the last 13 months, this amount of margin, but it hasn't been purchased in around the last 5 months. So armed with this information, my sales team can then go back and ask the customers the relevant questions required. Let's have a look at how we can create a new report. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick my accounting information for Essatto, and we can see in here we've got multiple Essatto cubes. We've got balances from our general ledger, journals from our general ledger, information from Google Analytics, and also some information from Mongo. So Essatto supports multiple data sources. Let's have a look at a Mongo report. So this is the Essatto report. On the right hand side is your report canvas where you'll create your charts and tables. In the middle is where you specify how you want to lay out your report, so what you want in the row and what you want in the column, for example. And on the left hand side is your data and how you want to filter that data. It's a very easy process, so it's all drag and drop, and in this case I'm taking my score data and I'm putting it on my report canvas. So I've now got a view across all my data of what the average score is, and the score in this example represents New York City Health Department scores for restaurants. I'll further filter this by moving borough onto the column. So I've now got a view of New York City boroughs, Bronx, Brooklyn and Manhattan for that same data. If I drag cuisine onto the row, I've now got quite a lot of information back around by borough what the restaurant score is for all these different cuisines. To make it a little bit easier to analyse, I'm going to turn this table view into a column view. Okay, so there's still quite a lot of data that's been returned, but I can see some high points here. One is for Afghan and another is for Pakistani. So let's filter this view down even more so I can get a better view of those particular cuisines. So one way is by dropping cuisine onto this multi-chart tile. So I've now got a view that's broken down by all my various cuisines, and I can see that for Afghan, Brooklyn scored pretty poorly, but Manhattan scored quite well. So I would probably go to Manhattan if I wanted Afghan cuisine in this example. I'll undo. And another way to filter is by clicking on the cuisine tile and choosing filter and then selecting the cuisine that I'm interested in. So we've had a look at Afghan, let's have a look at Pakistani. And I can see that the Bronx scored poorly, but Pakistani in Brooklyn scored quite well. So that's how easy it is to create a report in Essatto. It's all drag and drop and then point and click to filter down to the analysis that you require. Let's create a dashboard. To do that, we click the dashboard wizard link, which opens up a new Essatto dashboard. Each of the tiles that you see can be populated with previously created reports. So I can drag content from left to right onto my canvas to populate each of these tiles. The layout that we choose is also customizable. So we could choose a 2x2 where you can put in 4 reports, a 1/1, a 2 column, etc. But I'm going to choose this 3/2 layout. I'm going to drag and drop some content. So these are our New York City health scores previously created, lead conversion, and maybe the quote analysis. And you just continue drag and dropping content onto your tiles until you have the dashboard that you want. You can change the name for each of your dashboard tiles, and you can also change the dashboard name. You save your report and you end up with a completed dashboard. So pretty simple, it's all drag and drop. You basically create your report content and then you drag it and drop it onto the layout that you choose for your dashboard. So we've just seen that it's very easy to do data analysis in Essatto, but remember that BI is only one of Essatto's 6 key functions. Essatto provides end-to-end data management integrating all of these functions. For any use case where you need to group and consolidate data, Essatto hierarchies make the process quick and easy. Examples include multi-company and multi-currency consolidations, transitional reporting during migrations from legacy ERP to new ERP, combining different company charts of accounts for consistent group reporting, and quick and easy management of company, account, product, and customer hierarchies. So let's have a look at how to maintain hierarchies in Essatto. We'll review an account hierarchy, a company hierarchy, and we'll create a new product hierarchy. But before I do that, I'm going to create a new report to show you how a hierarchy works. I'm going to use sales data in this example. And we'll use dollars to illustrate. Okay, so I've got my dollars total across all of my information. I'm now going to filter that using my products hierarchy. So I'm bringing my top level product. So I've got all products. I'm then going to break that detail down by category. So I've got beverages, food, etc. And I'll bring the next level of detail. Let's just keep food. And I'll bring in my lowest level of detail. So the way that hierarchies work is that as you change the items that sit under these categories, these totals are automatically recalculated in Essatto. It's also important to note that the information is not filterable only by product. You can also bring in year, and I can filter by customer too. So Essatto is multi-dimensional, so you can filter your data any way you like, and as your hierarchy totals or your hierarchy groupings change, all of the associated information is recalculated for you without you having to run any separate batch processes or linking spreadsheets, for example, to do that. So let's go to the hierarchy screen and I'll show you how hierarchies work. So under the data section of Essatto, I'm going to maintain hierarchy. Let's have a look at accounting. I'll pick up the account dimension. Okay, so each dimension in Essatto can have multiple hierarchies. So in the case of account, we've got profit and loss, balance sheet, etc. And what we're looking at now is a standard profit and loss hierarchy for reporting profit and loss across multiple companies. So these summary categories that you see are consistent across all of the different companies that we have. So income, for example, will provide a consistent figure for income across all our companies. It's made up of the sales accounts that belong to company 1 at the moment, and I'm going to bring in the sales accounts from company 2 as an example. So it works in a similar way to reports where you drag content from the left into its target location on the right. So I'll search for my sales accounts and I simply highlight them and then drag and drop them to where they need to go in the hierarchy. So the next time I look at income, it will be the sum of my company 1 accounts plus my company 2 accounts, giving me a total income figure that's consistent across the group, net sales, gross margin, etc. Let's have a look at a company dimension. Okay, so this is my structure for doing multi-company consolidations. So I've got company 1 and company 2 that sum up to give me all companies before eliminations. Then I've got this eliminations company which sums with this total to give me an all companies total. You can have as many sub groupings as you like and as many companies as you like. Let's create a new product hierarchy to illustrate how easy it is to create new reporting structures like this in Essatto. So here's the hierarchy that we used in previous examples for drilling. And you can see that the product hierarchy drills from all products category, in this example down to food, down to bakery, with some bakery products. We're going to create this part of the hierarchy for this demo. So I create a new hierarchy, call it bakery test 1 for the example. Okay, I'll pick my new hierarchy, and to create it I simply search for what I want on the left and then drag it to the right. All products. The next grouping was food. Then under food, I have bakery. And we'll just select some bakery products to put under there. So we'll grab these pies. And there you go. So that's the process. It's all drag and drop. And when I have a look at my bakery test hierarchy, it will provide me a grouping of these items summed up to bakery to give me food and then all products. Obviously I could keep adding to this as per the original product hierarchy so that I've got groupings across all my categories. Business data can include thousands of products, customers, accounts and analytic accounts, potentially with many millions of data points. Many companies do not budget at this level of detail because of the time and effort required. This results in budgets with much less detail and much less business value. A major downside of budgeting at a summary level is that as actual results become available, any variance analysis of actual to budget is not detailed enough to provide quick answers to the questions why. Also, any business-specific factors, seasonality for example, are not considered. Essatto fast budgets can produce budgets with the same comprehensive detail as the actual data without the time and effort required to do it manually. With fast budgets, you can quickly and easily create budgets across multiple scenarios. For example, best case, worst case, and expected budgets. So let's take a look at a fast budget. I'll start with opening a report, which is showing a budget worst case scenario that we're going to populate based on actuals from last year. So you can see it's empty at the moment. I'll navigate to the fast budget functionality in Essatto. And we can see there are a number of what if scenarios that have already been created. So for the best case, or the budget best case example, it was initially started by seeding it with last year's actuals. Sales dollars were increased by 15%, and there's also some what ifs run to do things like increase the quantity for a specific product range for specific customers by 20% for the last half of the year. For our example, we're going to be seeding our budget worst case with last year's actuals as a starting position. So I'll just click on that. So our fast budget has a name or a description that you can enter and many different types of copies that can be applied. So a straight copy, an adjustment can be applied, replace, etc. And then here's a summary of what's going to happen. So we're going to copy the information from actual, and that information is going to go into budget worst case. The data is coming from last year and going into the budget year. So click on run. Okay, so that's completed. Let's go back to our report. We'll just refresh the report. So you can see that our budget worst case has now been set up with last year's actual data, and it'll have all the same level of detail as our actuals. So if I drill into this information a little bit, so let's bring across, for example, a profit and loss. You can see that the budget has got all the same data that the actuals do. So this gives the managers that are part of the budgeting process a great starting point in terms of completing budgets. So they could choose to accept the budget as is, or they could just adjust what's come through, which we'll show you later in the Essatto Excel add-in demo. The Essatto team has many years' experience working with customers to help improve their multi-user budgeting and forecasting processes. We often find budget processes are very labour intensive, subject to human errors, and many parts of the process suffer from Keyman risk, where a single person holds all the knowledge. Managing a budget process with multiple users, each with different responsibilities and data security requirements, can be difficult, but Essatto makes it much easier. Being able to run a budget effectively requires user collaboration and the ability to submit, review, and iterate the budget quickly many times till it gets approval. This is difficult for many businesses, and as a result, it may only happen a few times or not at all. Essatto Fast Budgets and Essatto Excel add-in allow customers to make their budget processes simpler, faster, and less prone to error. They help remove Keyman risk and make the budget data more valuable because it has all the detail to better answer questions raised during variance analysis against actual results. So we're going to take a look at the Essatto Excel add-in, and we're going to do some adjustments, and then we're going to review those adjustments that we make via an Essatto report. So this is the Essatto Excel add-in tab. So it's an additional tab that appears on your Excel ribbon. You can see that there are many options here. The key ones are the ability for a user to submit and refresh data directly from the Essatto warehouse. So it's a direct connection back to Essatto. The Essatto worksheet that we're looking at is set up for operating expense inputs, and you can see we've got some operating expense accounts running down the page. We've got time periods running across the page, and we've also got this particular worksheet set up by analytic account, company, customer, product, and the scenario budget. So we could have a number of what if scenarios here, best case, worst case, etc. And we could have included multiple companies or customers, etc. The particular input sheet that we're looking at the moment is based on inputting dollars, but you can just as easily set up input sheets into Essatto to input data by quantity, by price, to then calculate out dollars. So Essatto worksheets allow you to retain Excel formulas, so you can have Excel formulas actually in the input areas without impacting the submission process back to Essatto. And you can also use it for non-budget related data. So if you have spreadsheet only data, for example, the number of people visiting your store, as per this example, you can capture those sorts of statistics as well. So let's get back to the budget OPEX input sheet, and we can see that this green area here has been highlighted for these particular accounts. The green input indicates that this is an area in Essatto where you can input data. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the freight figure for July, and we're going to use an Essatto report to verify that that change has flowed through. So at the moment you can see general and administrative expenses is 69,000, and we should see that figure flow through once we update it to the report as well. But we should also see all of our totals automatically adjust. So the hierarchies that we reviewed in an earlier demonstration, this is how they're used in a working example, so that your users don't have to create separate processes to consolidate the data. As soon as the data is submitted, it's automatically aggregated by Essatto. So let's change that figure. I'll make it 95,000. And you can see that you can also include some interactive charts if you want to. So in this example, we've got our information from last year in terms of freight compared to the new budget data that we're inputting, and you can see those going up and down as you change information. So I've made my change to 95,000. I'm just going to submit now. And this is sending the data back to Essatto. Okay, so a couple of things have just happened. One is the data's been submitted back to Essatto, but two, you can see that our general and administrative expenses total has just been updated. You can see there's no Excel formula there. That's actually been recalculated by the database. And the reason that that's important is that this total isn't only by account, it's also by customer, by product, by company, etc. So when another user goes to query this information, if they have access, they could be querying it at a total company level, they could be querying it at an individual account level. It doesn't matter. Essatto's automatically handled all the consolidation for you. We're just going to take a look at our report now and make sure that our new change has refreshed through to Essatto. So I'll just refresh this report. Okay, so you can see that the general and administrative expenses total has been updated to 108,000. Our company total has also been updated for company one, and our group total has also been updated. So you can see at an all company level, all the information has now been updated. So we can be looking at the business as a whole without having to run any separate processes to consolidate the information across our multiple companies. The end user has simply submitted, and we're now able to review. Essatto includes extensive security functionality to control access to all Essatto user interfaces and data, including the ability to centrally manage the distribution of reports and dashboards, manage the distribution of Excel add-in worksheets, and manage access to data, some of which may have been imported from multiple data sources. Essatto is not just a BI reporting tool, and it's not just a data connector. Essatto is an end-to-end management solution with 6 integrated functions that allow you to quickly and easily import data from multiple sources, produce dashboards and reports, produce collaborative and comprehensive budgeting and forecasting for multiple users. It makes multi-company consolidations and managing hierarchical reporting easy, and stores all your key information for data analysis centrally and securely in a scalable data warehouse that is included as part of the solution. So thank you for listening, and for more information, please visit us at essatto.com.